Atlanta has always been a city where drama breathes louder than the music, but when Yandy Smith decided to break her silence with one simple caption, the entire city shifted. Screenshots don't lie. Loyalty doesn't bend. The streets been new. It wasn't just a caption, it was a dagger. It wasn't just shade, it was strategy. Atlanta understood immediately, this wasn't the kind of message you write when you're bored. This was a declaration of war. The blogs didn't even wait for context. They went into overdrive, turning her cryptic post into headlines, while podcasts scrambled to host emergency live streams. Twitter threads became digital bonfires, with fan pages dissecting every word, circling every comma, and pointing out that Yandy had never used the word receipts unless she had something deadly in her arsenal. For weeks, whispers of betrayal had been haunting the city. Rumors of a fracture between Rasheeda Frost and Yandy had floated around after the Spice concert blow-up, but no one had actual proof, until now. The streets don't need a full story, they just need a spark. And Yandy, with that one post, had set the city ablaze. Within hours, an anonymous account dropped a muffled voice note. The audio wasn't clear, but the fans didn't care. A woman's laugh that sounded suspiciously like Jasmine Washington, followed by a softer voice that people swore belonged to Rasheeda, whispering, "You're the only one who gets it." That was all it took. No context. No backstory. Just two voices in a sentence. But in Atlanta, perception is louder than proof. Suddenly, Yandy's words weren't just speculation, they were confirmation. The reaction was instant and merciless. Half the city sided with Yandy, swearing this proved that Rasheeda had crossed lines, cozying up with Jasmine, a woman whose very name had been poison in her marriage and reputation for years. The other half tried to defend Rasheeda, insisting the clip was doctored, edited, manufactured. But the internet doesn't wait for facts, it manufactures certainty on its own. Memes exploded across timelines, plastering Rasheeda's face next to Jasmine's with captions like "New Besties" and "Sis traded loyalty for cocktails." One viral post read, "We thought Kirk was the problem, but it's looking like Rasheeda been the problem." Her silence only made it worse. Silence in Atlanta doesn't protect you, it convicts you. And Rasheeda was being convicted in real time, not by a jury, but by every gossip page, every fan thread, every messy podcast that lived for her downfall. Yandy, on the other hand, played it with surgical precision. She didn't rant. She didn't scream. She dropped a calm carousel of photos, her kids smiling, her businesses thriving, her caption simple but heavy, "Family never fakes loyalty." The calmness was louder than shouting. It painted her as the composed woman holding truth, while Rasheeda looked messy and defensive even without saying a word. The fans ate it up. Hashtags like #receipts_don't_lie and #loyalty over everything trended under Yandy's posts, turning her into a symbol of strength and betrayal survivor. Meanwhile, Spice, who had already been dragged for playing Bone Carrier at the concert, tried to brush it off. She hopped on live, laughing nervously, claiming people were reading too much into things. "Mina know what the big fuss is," she said, flashing her blue hair and pretending she was unbothered. But the comments chewed her alive. "Girl, you messy, you knew this whole time." Spice playing both sides again. No matter how much she blinked into the camera and smiled like she was above it, the fans weren't buying it. Her name became synonymous with instigation, the kind of messy neutral friend who plants seeds and watches the fire. Then came the screenshots. The blurry kind that always circulate first, grainy, cropped, and half believable. But Atlanta doesn't need high resolution to believe the worst. At the top of the group chat were three names, Jasmine, Rasheeda, and one blurred contact. The text bubble showed Jasmine allegedly writing, "Sis, people so pressed over our trip, let them talk." Another message, supposedly from Rasheeda, read, "Yeah, they always looking for drama. Just keep it low." That was enough. Whether real or doctored, the internet crowned it gospel truth. Blogs slapped it across their feeds with headlines like, "Rasheeda and Jasmine's secret group chat leaks," and "Yandy was right all along." Every fan account reposted, zoomed in, circled words, and claimed, "That's Rasheeda's texting style. Look how she types, yeah." Perception had become conviction. Kirk Frost, of course, couldn't resist inserting himself. Under one of his workout posts, he slid in a caption, "Don't believe everything you hear. Energy don't lie." Fans tore him apart instantly. His comments filled with clown emojis and reminders of his past scandals. "Not you talking about loyalty when you cheated on her on national TV. Sir, energy told on you when you had a whole outside baby." Instead of helping, Kirk's attempt at damage control dragged Rasheeda deeper into the mud. His reputation had been in ruins for years, so trying to defend hers only reminded fans that betrayal was practically the Frost family brand. Yandy, meanwhile, sharpened her blade again. Another caption appeared on her page, "Screenshots don't make themselves. And silence speaks louder than words." She didn't have to name anyone, the entire city already knew who she meant. The brilliance of her strategy was that she never had to raise her voice. She dropped crumbs, and Atlanta turned those crumbs into a feast. Bloggers dissected every word. Fans stitched her captions into TikToks. Twitter trended with memes of Rasheeda drowning in screenshots while Yandy smiled calmly in business suits. By the weekend, Rasheeda finally cracked. She posted a photo of herself with her kids, the caption reading, "I stand on family, I stand on truth, I don't stand on drama." But her attempt at reclaiming dignity only gave the fans another chance to tear her down. "Then why your name in the group chat, sis? Truth don't hide, receipts do. Don't post your kids. When you messy." Her motherhood, which she thought would shield her, became collateral damage in the loyalty war. Fans accused her of hiding behind her children whenever the spotlight got too hot, and through it all, Jasmine stayed silent. That silence became more dangerous than words. Fans began whispering, "If she's not denying it, then it must be true." Anonymous accounts claimed they'd seen Rasheeda and Jasmine at lounges together. Blurry photos popped up, two women with similar hair walking into a restaurant. Was it them? Maybe not. But in Atlanta, maybe is enough. Every rumor became another nail in Rasheeda's coffin, every silence from Jasmine another confirmation. Threads ended with the same haunting question, "When Jasmine speaks, what's she gonna say?" The anticipation reached a fever pitch. Bloggers prepared livestream countdowns. Podcasts teased exclusive breakdowns. TikToks went viral with fake DMs pretending to be Jasmine. And Yandy? She kept her game cold. Another post. Another caption. This time, loyalty is free, but some people can't afford it. The line was tweeted thousands of times, turned into merch, reposted as motivation quotes, and screenshot across Instagram stories. Yandy was winning without lifting a finger. The loyalty war had officially begun, and part 1 was only the opening shot. Rasheeda was unraveling. Jasmine was biding her time. Spice was caught in the crossfire. Kirk was dragging everyone down with him. And Yandy? She was standing calm in the center, holding the receipts, watching her enemies crumble piece by piece. Atlanta had been buzzing for days, but when Jasmine Washington finally broke her silence, she didn't come out swinging with denial or defense. She came out laughing. Late one night, she hopped on Instagram Live, her hair tied back, sipping casually from a cup, her tone smooth but her smirk deadly. "Y'all be so pressed," she said, dragging out the words with deliberate slowness. "We just friends." People groan. People can hang with who they want. It should have been harmless. But it wasn't the words, it was the delivery. The smirk, the way her eyes darted to the comments, the way she kept pausing to laugh like the whole city was her joke. Fans caught it immediately. Jasmine was enjoying this mess way too much. Instead of clearing Rasheeda, she added gasoline to a fire that was already devouring her reputation. Clips from her live spread instantly. On Twitter, hashtags like #JasmineMess and #UnbotheredOrGuilty trended within minutes. Fans tweeted things like, "She loving this too much, she guilty as hell," and "Sis sipping her drink while Rasheeda's career burns." The fallout was brutal. Instead of defending Rasheeda, Jasmine's casual energy painted her as messy, calculating, the kind of woman who thrives in chaos but never takes responsibility. The streets began to crown her the new villain of Atlanta. Memes of Jasmine smirking with captions like, "Professional bestie wrecker," flooded timelines. Even neutral fans who didn't like Yandy admitted that Jasmine's demeanor made Rasheeda look 10 times worse. It wasn't just friendship anymore, it was betrayal. With seasoning, and if that wasn't enough, another anonymous page decided to detonate a bomb. A second voice note leaked, this time clearer than the first. The audio had no background noise, no muffled walls, just two women speaking. The first voice, which fans swore was Jasmine, said, "Sis, just keep it low. They gon' believe what they want anyway." And then came the alleged voice of Rasheeda, "Yeah, you right. I'm tired of pretending for cameras." That one sentence cracked the internet in half. The comments didn't just accuse Rasheeda of betrayal now, they accused her of deception, of fakery, of building a brand on lies while dragging Yandy in private. "What you pretending for cameras about?" one fan tweeted. "So the whole loyalty sisterhood was fake," another wrote. Blogs ran wild with headlines like, "Rasheeda caught pretending friendship with Yandy," and "Second voice note exposes double life." It was no longer a whisper of shade, it was receipts turning into confessionals outside of VH1 editing rooms. Rasheeda was spiraling. She typed, deleted, retyped long notes in her phone, but every word felt like a trap. Kirk whispered in her ear to stay silent, to let it blow over, to focus on the boutique and not give the internet more ammunition. But Kirk had no credibility, and his interference only reminded fans of the years he dragged her through public humiliation. Silence wasn't helping her, but speaking would only confirm guilt. She was trapped. And in Atlanta, once you look trapped, the streets declare you guilty. When she finally tried to pivot by posting another family photo, this time with a long caption about choosing peace, the backlash was immediate. Peace? After them voice notes? Not you running to family every time you messy. Sis, don't use your kids as receipts. Instead of softening her image, fans shredded her, accusing her of weaponizing motherhood, and of course, Kirk couldn't resist stepping into the fire. He dropped another caption under his workout photo, "Energy don't lie. People lie." Within seconds, his comments were a graveyard of clown emojis and brutal reminders of his cheating scandals. Sir, you the last person to talk about loyalty. You had a whole baby outside your marriage, sit this one out. Not Mr. Frost trying to talk energy when he been the problem. His words didn't just fail, they pulled Rasheeda's old wounds back into the spotlight. Instead of being seen as a victim, fans began to paint her as complicit, as someone who could betray loyalty because she had already forgiven so much betrayal at home. Meanwhile, Spice was catching bullets from every direction. Old clips resurfaced of her in interviews, smirking and hinting about friendships that don't make sense. Fans tied her back to every rumor, every shady laugh, every cryptic comment. They branded her the bone carrier, the quiet instigator who drops little hints and then acts shocked when the house burns down. Spice tried to defend herself, going live to say she wanted peace, flashing her usual bubbly energy. But the comments weren't having it. Bone emojis flooded her feed. Spice messy queen, always pretending she neutral. Girl, you knew and you liked it. Her attempts to laugh it off only made her look more guilty, more complicit, more like the woman who planted seeds behind the scenes. The blogs had a field day. Headlines screamed, "Loyalty war explodes," second voice note drops. Jasmine laughs while Rasheeda burns. Spice accused of playing both sides. Every post turned into a war zone in the comments section. Fans dragged, defended, mocked, and analyzed. Even neutral blogs that usually sat out drama picked sides, and almost no one was standing with Rasheeda. She wasn't just losing Yandy, she was losing Atlanta. Yandy, on the other hand, kept her moves calm and calculated. She didn't scream. She didn't rant. She didn't even address Rasheeda by name. She posted another photo dump, her caption. Short but sharp, loyalty is free, but some people can't afford it. That single line trended across platforms. Fans screenshot it, turned it into TikToks, tweeted it as motivational quotes, even printed it on merch. She had managed to flip betrayal into branding. Yandy wasn't just winning, she was ascending. She had become the face of truth, the strategist who played chess while everyone else fumbled with checkers. By now, the feud had become known as the loyalty war. It wasn't just shade anymore, it was a cultural moment. Hashtags like hashtag Yandy receipts, hashtag Rasheeda exposed, hashtag Jasmine mess, and hashtag SpiceCaught trended across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans demanded more. The tension wasn't about whether Yandy had receipts anymore, it was about what else she had, what final bomb she was holding back. And Yandy teased them perfectly. She posted a blurry screenshot on her story with the caption, "If they thought the first was bad, wait for the finale." Atlanta collectively lost its mind. Bloggers treated it like a countdown. Podcasts speculated endlessly. TikTok creators made skits of waiting for Yandy's drop. Everyone was perched, ready, desperate not to blink and miss it. Because in Atlanta, missing a receipt drop isn't just missing drama, it's missing history. And if what the fans had already seen was enough to drown Rasheeda, then the city was terrified to imagine what the finale might look like. Atlanta had been holding its breath for days. Every post, every rumor, every blurred screenshot had only been the appetizer. But when Yandy Smith finally decided it was time for the finale, she didn't come with theatrics. She didn't scream, she didn't rant, she didn't go live like Jasmine. She did what only a strategist would do, she dropped a calm carousel post. The first picture was her smiling sweetly with her kids. The second was her business team around a conference table. But it was the third slide that detonated like a bomb. The full, unblurred group chat. The names were clear, Rasheeda Frost, Jasmine Washington, and a third contact assumed to be one of their mutual friends. The messages were undeniable. Jasmine had written, "Sis, people pressed about us, let them choke." Then Rasheeda's reply followed, "Girl, Yandy always playing victim, that's why I stopped rocking with her. It's all for cameras." And Jasmine piled on with, "Exactly. She's so fake loyal, I don't know how people don't see it." 3 sentences that destroyed years of branding, trust, and friendship. The internet didn't just react, it exploded. Twitter turned into a war zone. Hashtags like hashtag Rasheeda exposed and hashtag Yandy receipts trended instantly. Fan pages posted the screenshots side by side with Rasheeda's past reunion confessionals where she called Yandy her sister. Memes flooded feeds with captions like, "Not her loyalty card declining," and "Sis overdraft her friendship account." The betrayal wasn't speculation anymore. It was proof. Direct, unedited, undeniable proof. Rasheeda tried to fight back. She posted a long caption claiming the screenshots were taken out of context, that it wasn't what it looked like, that people were twisting her words. But the comments section wasn't forgiving. Context? You called her fake loyal. What's the context for that? How many contexts does betrayal have? Sis, you got caught, take your L. Every word she typed made it worse. She deleted, reposted, reworded, but the fans had already decided, guilty. In desperation, she pivoted to family again, posting more photos of her kids, trying to redirect the narrative to motherhood and peace. But the internet wasn't interested in peace. They smelled blood. Comments read, "Don't use your kids to cover betrayal. Family, don't erase fake group chats. Sis, motherhood ain't your PR team." What was supposed to be her soft defense turned into another weapon used against her. To make matters worse, a screenshot of an alleged email began circulating. It appeared to be from a fashion brand pulling out of a collaboration with her boutique, due to negative image concerns. Whether it was real or not didn't matter, the perception alone was lethal. Fans flooded her boutique's Instagram with clown emojis and one-star reviews, calling her disloyal, fake, and finished. Years of careful rebranding crumbled in a single week. Meanwhile, Jasmine leaned all the way into the villain role. Instead of distancing herself, she doubled down. She went live again, this time with her makeup done, sipping wine, her tone dripping with smugness. "If I wanna chill with Rasheeda, that's my business. Y'all care too much about friendships that ain't even yours." She smirked at the comments, read out loud the ones that dragged her, and laughed like the whole city was her playground. Fans were livid. They spammed her comments with clown emojis, labeled her professional homewrecker turned bestie, and declared she was the new messy villain of Atlanta. Instead of protecting Rasheeda, Jasmine's energy buried her deeper. Every laugh, every smirk, every dismissive sip of wine turned the fans more against Rasheeda for choosing to side with her. And then there was Kirk. Unable to help himself, he jumped in once more with a caption, "Strong women don't need the world's approval." If Rasheeda was sinking, he was determined to pull her down faster. Fans didn't just drag him, they annihilated him. Strong women? Sir, you broke your wife on TV. You the last person to speak on loyalty. Not Mr. Outside Baby. Talking about strong women. His name trended alongside hers, and the Frost family became a punchline. Memes popped up of Kirk handing Rasheeda betrayal receipts like party favors, with captions like, "This family allergic to loyalty." Instead of shielding her, Kirk reminded the world of every humiliation she had suffered at his hands, connecting her betrayal of Yandy to the dysfunction of her marriage. Spice, who had tried to stay quiet during the final fallout, got dragged in anyway. The second batch of Yandy's receipts included messages of Rasheeda and Jasmine shading not just Yandy, but Spice too. One message read, "Spice messy, always pretending she neutral." That line dragged Spice fully into the loyalty war. Fans turned on her instantly, howling that she had been exposed as a fake neutral, a bone carrier pretending to play peacemaker. Old clips of her laughing on reunion couches resurfaced, now framed as proof that she knew all along. Her comment sections flooded with bone emojis. Blogs ran headlines like, "Spice exposed in final receipts," and "The bone carrier can't escape." She was no longer the bystander, she was collateral damage, pulled into the war whether she liked it or not, and through it all, Yandy remained unshaken. She didn't argue. She didn't backtrack. She posted a video speaking calmly, almost softly, looking straight into the camera. Sometimes, the people you break bread with will turn around and break your back. But the thing about truth? It always shows itself. Loyalty is priceless, and once it's gone forever. That one clip went viral beyond the love and hip-hop universe. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it became a motivational sound. On TikTok, a quote posted on Instagram stories, a line tweeted thousands of times. Yandy had taken betrayal and turned it into a branding moment, a life lesson, a crown on her head. The verdict from the streets was clear. Yandy won. Rasheeda lost her credibility. Jasmine exposed herself as messy and manipulative. Spice lost her innocence as a bystander. And Kirk? He dragged himself back into infamy, reminding the world why the Frost name had been scandal for years. The loyalty war didn't end with fists, fights, or screaming reunions. It ended with screenshots, captions, and calm strategy. It ended with Yandy standing tall while her enemies drowned in their own words. Atlanta declared it historic. Bloggers called it the most iconic fallout since the Candy vs. Phaedra scandal. Fans declared it the end of Rasheeda's era. Memes immortalized every caption Yandy had posted, every smirk Jasmine had dropped, every bone emoji Spice had received. The loyalty war wasn't just a feud, it was a cultural event that cemented Yandy as a strategist, Rasheeda as disloyal, Jasmine as messy, and Spice as exposed, and the final blow? Yandy's last caption, posted just as the dust was settling, "The streets always talk, but they don't ever lie." That line sealed the war, stamped it in Atlanta's history, and reminded everyone that in the end, receipts don't just speak, they scream.